Today we're taking a look at the top 10 ugliest fruits. Because why not? To avoid making everyone sick within the first 15 seconds of this top 10, we're starting off with a fruit that isn't too bad on the eyes in all honesty. In fact, I'd go as far as to say this fruit looks beautiful at first glance. This is called a pitaya or something, but it's more commonly known as a dragon fruit. With a name like dragon fruit and a design straight out of Monsters Inc., this fruit looks like it has everything going for it in life. It looks like if a rose were to produce a fruit. The only reason I even included it in this video is because the inside is much less appealing. Despite the outside of the fruit, the inside looks like some sort of Oreo cream and ranch dressing combination, which I'm sure some of you would say looks good, but it makes me uneasy on account of it being in the center of a fruit. I've seen images of these fruits with purple insides instead of white insides, but even then it looks like you got cranberry sauce from Thanksgiving and then told a bunch of bugs outside to use it as their winter vacation home. There are also yellow versions of this fruit as well, which to me look even worse, but whatever. I've never eaten one of these things, but all the people online say this fruit tastes like nothing, which really creeps me out. Even looking at the trees these things grow out of gives me the feeling that I'm being set up for something, as if eating one of these weird looking fruits would either lead me onto a spiritual ayahuasca-esque journey, or at the very least a horrifying torturous journey to the nearest bathroom. Basically, even if this fruit looks pretty, this looks like some sort of setup or a trap, so I'm not eating them. So number 10 wasn't that bad at all, but number 9 starts sending things downhill with the kiwano fruit, or the kiwano fruit. I don't know how to say these names, so just bear with me. I'll put the names on screen, I guess. At first glance, it just seems like a weird tropical fruit that might not be too bad to eat, and I've never eaten one of these things, but judging by the spikes on the outside, I'd assume you'd want to cut it up to eat it, which is where the problems begin. When you open up this ugly thing, you see why it belongs on the list immediately. I mean, seriously, what is this stuff that can only be described as disgusting green goop? This thing looks like it was pulled straight out of a Chowder episode into our own tainted and cursed reality. You can even make juice out of these things, but I'm not sure why you would do that, considering it just turns into a cup of seeds and green slime. Now maybe I'm a picky eater, but green slime is one of the most disgusting and unappetizing things imaginable. This is one of those times you can't judge a fruit by its cover, because sure, it's kind of ugly on the outside, but nothing could prepare you for the ugliness within. Number 8 is the infamous durian fruit, and I'm fully aware most of you internet freaks are aware of this fruit, so let's keep it short. This thing looks like it was solely designed to injure people, and it does. This is the deadliest fruit as far as I'm aware, with it killing more human beings than sharks. By that I mean this fruit kills more humans than sharks kill humans. I don't mean that this fruit kills more humans than it kills sharks, though. I mean, that's probably also correct anyway, so whatever. Even if this fruit won't kill you, it'll make sure you don't have any fun if you do decide to actually eat this disgusting fruit. First of all, it hurts to hold, so good luck with all that, and secondly, it's super stinky. Now, call me old-fashioned, but I don't eat anything that smells even remotely stinky, and I'm not sure why anybody else would. But even if none of those terrible factors scare you, just take a look at the inside of these ugly fruits. I mean, seriously, what's going on here? It looks like some sort of giant bug larva. I'm no scientist, but I feel like humans develop the sense of disgust through both taste and smell in order to avoid eating potentially harmful foods, and eating one of these things is just a slap in the face to millions of years of evolution. This thing should trigger every disgusting flag that you have set up in your brain. It's just gross. How do you even look at this thing, let alone eat it? The only thing I can even think of when I see the insides of these disgusting fruits is that bug that Kronk and Yzma ate in The Emperor's New Groove, and you know, that's not appetizing either, now is it?
Alright,
Holy shit, man. What is that smell, dude? What are you doing? Can you please record when I'm not here, man? You're gonna piss the neighbors off. That smells like complete shit.
fuck you.
Fuck you, man.
Are you fucking serious? Fuck. Okay, fucking asshole, ladies and gentlemen, that's my fucking roommate.
Number 7 is the humble passion fruit. This is a fruit that I thought I had heard of before this point, but after googling the ugliest fruits, I found out I was dramatically wrong. At first glance, these things look fine, and if anything they look like more tasty versions of plums. And plums are pretty good, they're not ugly. But then you go and open it up and you see literal barf. Just, it looks rotten. Literally, it looks like a mix of barf, rotten food, and more bug larvae. Like, this is literally a combination of everything you should not want to eat. Whoever the first human was to find one of these things and ignore the decaying tadpole eggs inside is a savage, and I hope they feel ashamed of themselves. This one actually has me legitimately stressed out just by looking at it, and it seriously looks like someone made a purple Easter egg and just forgot about it for years, only to eventually open up Pandora's box. For number 6, we have a fruit that I've never heard of or even seen in my life before this point, called Akebia quinata. And again, that might not be correct pronunciation, but that's besides the point. Now, if you just Google that name, you'll see some pretty purple plants, but we're interested in the ugly fruits that these plants produce. This fruit seems fine since it's purple and thick, and I mean, who knows, maybe it'll just be one big grape. Grapes are good, grapes aren't gross. No, that's not what this is. Once you open it up, you get another fruit with a rotten inside that people convince themselves to eat. It's almost like an eggplant with a slimy pine cone made of goop on the inside, or an eggplant that someone managed to get pregnant somehow. I also don't have trypophobia, but I might now after looking at this thing that, once again, looks like bugs are a huge part of. On Google Images, you'll see lots of oversaturated purple versions of this fruit, but the deeper into this lore you traverse through, the deader and grayer these fruits look. It gets to a point where I honestly can't even tell if the plant is rotten or still meant to be eaten, which is how you know that a fruit is ugly. Now, I know some of those fruits aren't as horrible of abomination as your wildest imagination may have led you to believe, but that's because I saved all those nasty fruits for the second half of the list. You know, because that's how top 10s work. I mean, come on. Number 5 is the tomato. I hate those things and they're gross. What else do you want? Okay, I'm just joking, guys. Calm down. The real number 5 is the Hand of Buddha. The name is interesting on its own, but let's not ignore the fact that it looks like an octopus took the form of a fruit. This alien fruit is admittedly more intriguing than it is ugly, but I'm not sure if I could ever make myself eat it. I mean, it looks like a bunch of bananas or carrots stuck together or something, but there's something so strangely organic about it that I can't help but feel like I would be eating some sort of fictional creature. This is also a citrus fruit, but unlike orange or, you know, any actually good citrus fruit, there's no actual citrusy parts and it's all just the white stuff. So the inside looks like this. Allegedly it's not bitter, so you can't eat the whole thing, but like, why? Number 4 is the pine berry. This is basically just an albino or inverted strawberry, but it strikes me as odd and appalling. I will admit this is probably just due to growing up with red strawberries my whole life before seeing these things, but if someone handed me a pine berry, I would assume they were trying to poison me. This fruit is again not necessarily hideous, but it is far from appetizing and a weird fruit nonetheless. If you've ever seen Monsters Incorporated, you know, one of the best Disney movies ever made, I think the best way to describe this fruit to someone would be to remind them about that scene where Randall's strawberry textured homie, his name is Fungus by the way, I forgot about that. Why is that his name? I don't know. Anyway, this homie of Randall's that looks like a regular strawberry gets put inside of the Scream machine until it gets white and turns into a pine berry, like this. Hello, Levi.
Hello.
Have you ever heard of pine berries?
I have not.
Alright, don't look it up yet, but
Okay.
you know strawberries?
Yeah,
Those are pretty good, right?
they're pretty good. I got a strawberry shake.
Hey, you know Monsters Inc?
Yeah.
You know Randall's buddy Fungus?
Yeah.
Do you remember when they put him in the Scream trap and he turned like pale and dead?
Yeah.
Can you Google pine berry?
Oh. What the heck? They just painted a strawberry.
Yeah, doesn't that look like Randall's buddy after the Scream machine?
You know the snakes and stuff where they can have albino ones.
Yeah.
That's just strawberry.
In my script, next to pine berry, I have in parentheses albino strawberry.
Oh.
I don't know if I call this ugly, but I wouldn't want to eat it, you know?
It's not ugly. It's interesting. I probably would not eat it because it looks like a strawberry that is not good.
Yeah, it looks like a strawberry put in the dang Scream machine. Alright, for number 3 we have the rambutan fruit. If you Google the ugliest fruits, you'll see this thing plastered everywhere because it is rightfully an ugly fruit. At first glance, this just looks like a hairy strawberry or raspberry or something, which is honestly already a bad start on account of me not liking hairy fruits. Yeah, not even you, Kiwis. But once you open these ugly fruits up, you are greeted by an egg of pus. At least that's what it looks like. This is another alien food that somehow made its way into our grim reality, but why does it have to look so ugly? Why can't we just ever get those cool looking rainbow alien fruits that would actually be fun to eat, huh? They gotta be these disgusting, appalling, nasty, gross fruits that make me want to barf? I don't like that. Who likes that? The second ugliest fruit on the planet is the ackee fruit, which is appropriately named considering it looks like acne and blackheads. This thing is appalling for many reasons, but the main reason I think are these weird black balls that are just also in the fruit. Without those black balls, this fruit is still pretty hideous considering the inside looks like one of those stupid durian fruits, but having gross black balls on top of that is just nasty. I mean, it literally looks like cartoonishly elongated eyeballs grew out of an old bell pepper. Allegedly, these fruits are healthy, but I think I'd rather die a miserable death than ever see one of these in person, let alone eat one. Alright everyone, prepare yourself for the number one spot, because this thing is one ugly fruit. It's so ugly in fact that it really doesn't even look like a fruit, to the point where I personally think it is not one. The world's ugliest fruit is Yo Mama! Okay, just kidding, it's the medlar fruit. Ugh, this thing looks like it smells of death and pestilence. As a matter of fact, I think people used to grow these things on their skin back in the days of the bubonic plague. Seriously though, this looks like an orange or mango or something if it was literally rotted entirely and used as a community fleshlight by wild animals. The disgusting rotting top of these fruits are the main repulsive factor if you're asking me, considering it looks like something that could only be done by other animals or people, and you know, not something that can naturally grow from a tree. I mean, just look at this thing cut up. There are literally Halloween-y pubic hair decorations on the top in case you weren't already disgusted by its rotting flesh and guts texture. Allegedly, these fruits are very sweet despite being ugly, but I would rather kill myself than find out how they really taste, so we're just gonna end the video here. Well, those were the ugliest fruits, and I know some of you guys may be wondering, yo, why did you make a video on the top 10 ugliest fruits? And well, I wish I could tell you, but honestly, I don't know. I just thought this video would be fun to make, and I mean, hey, what's funnier than ugly fruit?